everyone, welcome back to Bits and Bob's Divination. My name is Caitlin, and today we are going to be looking into a timeless reading of what are you moving into for your career, what's changing up, what abundance is coming in, what's moving out, and where are you heading. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so hello everyone, we're here back to a new timeless video, and I'm really excited because we're not just looking into love or into romance or those sorts of things, but actually looking into financial abundance, looking into where you guys are heading in your career, where you want to go, what your goals are, and what you're setting yourself up to within your energy as well. So we're going to be diving into the nitty-gritty for all of that for these 3 different piles. But I do want to say thank you to everyone who's been joining in on these new routines that I've been sort of bringing in with these timeless videos and these 2-week kind of check-ins and forecasts. So thank you to those of you who have continued to bring in support for this channel and just leaving such lovely comments and wonderful support. And also, if you are new to the channel and this is one of your very first videos here with me, such a warm welcome. It's lovely to have you guys here, as we are going to be, like I said, diving into some new stuff lately with these timeless videos. So if you want to join on in with the monthly blessings that I do, weekly or 2-week ahead forecasts, as well as other magical and creative content alongside these timeless videos, then feel free to join on in. We've got lots of wonderful readings that you can check out already and ones that you can check out in the future. So if you want to join on in, feel free to subscribe, as we are going to start looking at these piles. So I decided to go for a sort of a coin theme today because I have quite a few coins in a collection, as well as some other ones too that I've found around the house and have gotten from different travel adventures from friends and family. So here for pile number 1, we have a 50p or 50 pence showing up here, and it looks like this. I don't know what the date is. It is 1981 and it has Elizabeth II on the back. And then alongside that, you also have here the 5-cent euro for 2006. So if that resonates for you, that is pile number 1. For pile number 2 here, we have a $1 coin from the United States, and it has Abraham Lincoln on the back. The date here actually isn't present, so I don't really know what date it is, but there is the coin itself. And then also we have another Abraham Lincoln on the back of this coin, and it is a 1918 penny, so it is a very early penny. But that is pile number 2, in case that resonates for any of you. And then finally, for pile number 3 here, we have another sort of pound kind of coin, but this one's a half penny. And it is 1929, in case that resonates for any of you. It looks like this. And then you also have a 10-cent euro, and it is from 2002. So there you go. That is pile number 3. So you have pile 1, 2, and 3 here. You can choose any or all of the piles. There's no right or wrong way. But I'm going to go ahead and let you guys take a deep breath together here with me so you can make a better decision on which pile is really calling to you and utilize your intuition here. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath together here now. So as always, there's no right or wrong way to choose your pile. You can choose all 3 piles, 2 of the piles, choose a pile, change your mind. You can flip-flop, choose all of them, one of them, whatever works for you. There's no right or wrong way to do this. There are no rules. So play around and see what works for you. But for those of you who already know which pile is for you, Feel free to use the chapter marks within the video or down in the description. You can find your timestamp specific to your specific pile down below. And you can also find my Instagram where you can join in on polls and connect with me more specifically. I love connecting with you guys, so don't be shy. I'm there for quite often. And then also you can find the different decks and supplies that I use, find out how to get private readings and other fun other spiritual content and things that you can find down there. So if any of that interests you, feel free to check any of that out. But we are going to go ahead and get started with pile number 1. Hello Group 1, if you've decided to choose this 50 pence as well as this 5-cent euro, then this is the pile for you. I'm going to go ahead and actually set these down right here so you can see them during your reading here today, as we are going to be using the charms, the watercolor affirmations. We're also going to be playing around with more letter tiles again today. And the decks that we're going to be using are the Spellcasting Oracle, the Celtic Lenormand deck, more as an oracle, and today's tarot deck of choice is the Everyday Witch Tarot. And it doesn't like scream money to me. It's a very magical deck, but like, I don't know, this deck was like, please use me today. So I was just going to follow along and see what happens for us. So here we are, Group 1. We're going to be looking into your career path, maybe things that you're heading towards, financial like insights, as well as just like where you're going in your career or where things are heading, and energy insights or guidance. So Group 1 here, Group 1, we're looking for career messages, job, career. I had a little conflict there, but I was definitely feeling this page. So we have here the Page of Pentacles, flipping a coin even. I love that card. So Group 1, we're looking for what's next in your career, what may be changing in your path, what's moving forward, what energy's coming in. And here we have the 5 of Swords. Let's see what your final card is here for your tarot. So Group 1, what energies, insights, or guidance are coming in for your career path, for your job, for your finances, for what you want to see out of your career, all that kind of jazz. So Group 1, we're looking for, okay, let's see here. You got another page. So you have the Page of Wands and also the Page of Pentacles and the 5 of Swords. Interesting to have both the pages here, but they're definitely working together based off of just the way they're kind of looking here. But let's go ahead and see what else is coming in. So Group 1, we're looking for career-related messages, financial guidance, anything like that for the near future for Group 1 here. Woo! That one just flew right past my hand. I felt it flick right on past. Okay, so what do you have here? Oh, that's so lovely. Happiness. I love this card. It's so beautiful, and it literally just makes me feel happy looking at it. She looks like she's just in bliss, right? So that's exciting to see as well. So you have happiness showing up here. And we'll go ahead and do your Celtic Lenormand message. So Group 1, we're looking for any information for career-based messages for Group 1 here. Woo! So here you have the bear is what you have here. So with each of these Lenormand cards, they also have different numbers associated with them. So these may resonate differently for each of you. So just sort of journal to see what comes up for you. But here we have the number 15 and the 10 of, the 10 of clubs, or also known as the 10 of wands. So there you go. We're going to do one final message and then see what else comes up here for your letters and the charms. So stay tuned for those. But Group 1 here, Group 1, we're looking for any career, financial, career path related messages here. Ooh, so you have take action. Definitely already seeing that based off of the Page of Wands there, but you have take action. So that is your affirmation message. So there's definitely action to what you are creating in this path right now. So like I said, stay tuned for the castings later on, but we're going to go ahead and explore these first messages and then dive deeper with the others. So first off, overall, I'm already sensing that there's a lot of good things coming in your career path right now with this happiness. It seems like you're feeling or you're heading towards a path that's going to be more fulfilling for you if you aren't already currently in one. And resources are starting to come in with this bear. So there are new things that are coming in there, but I'll talk more on that in a moment. But first, I want to talk about these two page cards. So they both came up, so I feel like these represent you. Either that you're battling with these two energies, or more so that I feel like they're working together. So it's kind of like if you took these two cards and these two people, these pages, and put them together, what would you get? So this is sort of what I'm seeing here. So the Page of Pentacles is all about kind of setting on a new career path, right? Like you tend to see them being the type of younger people heading out. Not necessarily that you have to be on this path necessarily, but it's like the university student, the one ready to research new things, be very practical, but also kind of spontaneous at the same time. So even though you're heading towards a path that you know is probably going to be good for you, you also are trying to be a little bit, maybe not necessarily risky, but being a little bit more intuitive with it, because you do have them flipping a coin, right? So they can't decide which path they're going to go. They have this map, they have everything mapped out, they're ready to go, but instead of just taking what's going to work best for you, you're going to maybe take a chance, flip that coin and just be like, okay, I maybe am between two jobs right now, but I'm just going to flip this coin and see what happens, right? I'm not necessarily saying that that's what you need to do, but it is showcasing that this energy may come in for you where you're feeling a little more spontaneous, you're feeling a little bit more playful with your career, you're ready to be a little bit more playful, because the other thing too is the Page of Wands is not only heading towards a path, because you can see they're very determined on the path that they're going on, but the great thing about the Page of Wands too is if you are in a position right now where you maybe don't have the finances, you don't have the money, you don't have the resources, or you feel like you don't, there are other people who have already gone on this path that may be farther down, like this cat and this salamander, that are there to help you. So that could be this Page of Pentacles. You may have a Page of Pentacles coming in to help you, or vice versa. So I really feel like there are people on your path ready to help you with those resources, ready to engage with you and network with you. So definitely look and seek them out. The other thing too, like I said, is I just feel like you guys are just going to go with what you have. So like when I started this YouTube channel, I'm sitting on the floor right now. I'm making things work with what I have, using what you already have to make things work. So sometimes you might be feeling like right now in your career path that you don't have enough money, or you don't have enough resources, or you don't have enough people in your corner or support, or whatever that thing is where you feel like you are lacking, but you do. You just have to get a little playful, get a little creative, and maybe ask for the help that is needed at this time to seek out other pages, other people who are learning and growing in your community, who are in the same path as you, to help you out, and you vice versa to help them where you can. So that's definitely coming in here. But with that's something else that's come up here more on a guidance level or an energy level, is to be aware that there are going to be people on this path who are maybe on the same level as you, but they might be trying to take advantage of you. Maybe they're trying to use you to get resources but not give anything back, or they're trying to create something and they're just sort of using you as a piggyback, and then they're just going to leave you in the dust. So please be aware that there are, not everyone's the best out there, and just be the best at judging or trying to intuitively figure out who is there for you and not, especially if you're new on a certain career path and you're still learning who's in your environment, because this Five of Swords is showcasing not only arguments or squabbles or things like that, but it also showcases that like somebody's getting more than they probably deserve, or they're trying to take more than they need. So there's these two people in the background, and they're not doing as well, or they're watching this scene, or people are trying to create gossip or try to stir something up in this pot that is just no good, right? So be wary of those people and don't let them have your resources, because you also have the bear, and the bear is sort of the middleman, right? They're both on land and water, right? So they kind of work in two different sections. They both hibernate, and they also are very active in the summer. So for some of you, you may be feeling like you need to work between these people, like the people who maybe aren't so good. Maybe you're working with companies, or you're working with types of business that just isn't, where you want to be, but you kind of have to use them in order to get where you want to go. So for some of you, it may be useful, but you have to kind of ask yourself morally if this is right for you, if it's going to bring happiness to you. Like, for me, eco packaging is a huge thing for me. So, like, even though it may be easier to get certain resources from other people who could give you something that's maybe cheaper, or from China, or something that's just easier or simpler, are you harming other people in that process down the line, down the manufacturing line, right? So that's one kind of message that's coming through. But for some of you, that may not resonate at all. So more on a base level, this is just feeling like you may be in the middle. So you're not at the top of your career, but you're not at the bottom either. And you're still trying to work up. But you are gaining resources. You're gaining nuggets on the way, because you do have this fish. And fishes in Lenormand represent resources, represent finances. So you are crossing rivers. You're crossing to new horizons that and opportunities that are going to lift you higher and get you to higher ground with these resources. So that's also coming through. But overall, the biggest thing here is that it's time to take action on the paths that you want to take. It feels like you guys are definitely at the beginning of something, or if you are in the middle, you're ready to begin to a new phase, right? You're ready to take a chance, take a risk. And in doing that, you might come across people who are going to kind of be flaky, be a little bit fake, and don't let them steal your happiness. Don't let them take your resources. Be sure to snuff them out and move on, and don't let them be part of that energy. And it's time to take action. Definitely don't wait. But with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and move on to your letter tiles group 1 here, because you guys, like I said, you have action, you have happiness. There's a lot of good things, good resources, some kind of negative Nancy's coming in, but for the most part, it's pretty good. So let's go ahead and get some more information. Maybe we'll get some names on who these pages are, or who that 5 of Swords may be that's kind of stirring things in the pot, or anything else that may come up in between. So, group 1 here. Group 1, we're looking for any information on career path for group 1. What words, messages, guidance, insights, or symbols are coming through for group 1? Okay, so the first thing that came up to me was like, girl, like someone saying like, girl, you need to watch your back. Probably just from this like grr. But I also see G-U-R-I-T and N. And then there's also an E, a D, and an M. So, because you have the bear, it makes me think the den word here. And then I'm also seeing time, which is telling me that you're building up your resources. You're building up, your den where you can hibernate, where you can have your resources, where you can, collect money for your family, or you can start building up a higher income. Like I said, you might feel like you're in the middle, or you're still at the very beginning gaining these resources, but they are growing, because you do have that over time. You are definitely growing, you're harvesting things, but it isn't like something that's going to happen short term, that you're just going to get it and then it's gone. It's going to be something at the moment that you are doing that is going to be very like yearly, right? Like it's going to really build slowly but very consistently, and is something that's going to create investments, that's going to come in and be more stable. So you definitely have that coming up here with the bear. Let's see what else we can see here. I always invite you guys to let me know in the comments what else comes up for you. I also see run, which makes me think like hit the ground running, right? Like I just feel like you guys need to run, just take action, because some of you have been maybe on the fence, not really flipping that coin, making that decision and going for it. It's a lot of like, I'll dip my toes in and dip out, and you're not really putting yourself all in to cross this river. So definitely run right on into it, because there's good things coming from it. I also see mend and then also with time. So I feel like you guys are mending something. Maybe you had a difficult coworker or something, and this has maybe already started to come in, and you're starting to mend that with time. So that's also coming in here. But I'm going to go ahead and move on to your charms, but feel free to let me know what you guys see in the see in the words, and put it in the comments, because I'm always curious, like, seriously, what you guys see. Like, I'm seeing rum, but I'm always curious what, like, little nuggets you guys see through there. But let's go ahead and move on to your charms. So group one, we're looking for career-related details, messages, insights, and guidance. For group one here, what else can you get into for the nitty-gritty for group one? Okay, I was feeling something chunky on the bottom there, so we're gonna dive in, see what comes in. Good message there. We'll look at that in a moment. I'm just double checking there's nothing upside down here and picking up what there is. All right, so not a lot of charms, but they're very concise. So I'm going to zoom you in so you can see what we have. And then you can also see the letters a little bit more clearly. Don't worry, there's nothing on the mat that you're missing out on, but we're going to go ahead and start in your inner ring here. Actually, before we do, I don't know if any of you guys caught this, but here on top of the one about being kind of cautious about certain people, you actually had the fake coin, which represents people who are stealing your resources or being very fake. So it's just so much that this is coming in. So really be aware that there are going to be people who are trying to take advantage of you, and it's just being prepared that they're coming in. So just knowing that they're on their way is going to be a good heads up to kind of look into people, make sure no one's trying to be shady. But alongside that happiness that came in, you have a couple of cool things happening in your center. So you have the fall in love charm. You can't really see it anymore, but this used to say fall in love, and it's like a clothespin, which sometimes can mean pinning things up, but because this one says fall in love, it makes me feel like you're like pinning it on the board. You're ready to fall in love with something. And so I think it's falling in love with this new piece to your career, because you have the puzzle piece logic charm. So you're thinking logically, like, where can I go? What can I fill this den full of? You know, what can I create that are going to create these new resources, this new financial abundance for myself? Because that's definitely coming in several charms here. And it's just that you're ready for that happiness to come in, because you're not only just making money, right? You're not just making money for the excitingness of having money and resources, but you're also doing it because it's something that you're passionate about, that you're happy about. And that's so wonderful to see, because yes, you can work hard and get something and earn something, but until it truly matters to you, until there's actual passion, love behind it, and logic behind it, so there's both the logic side and the love side working together, if one of those is out of balance, you're gonna either get burnout, or you're going to get, where you're not passionate, or you may be gaining a bunch, but there's no love in it. You're not going to be able to use those resources to gain love, right? So that's already really lovely to see. And like I said, you do have abundance coming in, because you have the 10 of Pentacles showing up here. And the 10 of Pentacles is all about, lots of really great financial goals that you're heading towards. This doesn't necessarily mean that you are getting all of those right away, but you are heading towards them. There is a heading, right? Like, you're not just sitting anymore. It's time to take the action towards those big goals. Be a little bit risky and know that, yes, you could stay in that job and settle, but you could also head towards something that you really want. And this can be any kind of prosperity. That can be that because you're kind of bettering yourself in your finances, that means you could get that house that could provide for your family, right? So there's more ways to be prosperous than just having $1 billion. So it just kind of matters what that is for you specifically. You also have the financial security charm. So it is a little safety pin. You feel safe in your finances. You're heading towards having better resources, right? Like this is gold. It's something that you're going to have like a lot more value in. So that's really lovely to see too, that there's going to be value. People are going to see value in your work, in what you're doing, both in your family and also in the people that matter to you, right? And then you also have 2 different transformation elements. You had transformation coming in here with the butterfly, but butterflies tend to show up in a lot of cards, so I don't always head towards them, but seeing as you have that, and then you also have the transformation charm of this one, which used to be a spoon but is now transmuted or changed or transformed into a pendant, and now a charm, shows that you're ready to change your perception of who you are. So if you've always been, that type of job and, fill in the blank, whatever it is, or you feel like everyone always sees you as only being able to or have value or capabilities in one type of job, this is your chance to maybe try something new that is actually passionate in, that you have passion in, and that you're passionate about, and you want to gain happiness in. Right? Because you're actually transforming into something that matters to you, because you've opened yourself up to it. Because we don't have any locks here, right? There's no locks, there's security, there's new paths for you, and then you have a key. So you are unlocking, you're finding opportunities at this time, and they're heading you, because it landed this way, it's heading you for you right towards this 10 of Pentacles, which is really great to see. The last thing you have here is the key ring or the cycles charm. So this shows that you aren't always breaking cycles. So there is a cycle at the moment that you are working through, right? Like there is still progress happening here because of the way it spirals up, but it isn't necessarily something you've broken yet. So that's something else to look into. So is there a cycle within your work that you haven't broken yet? Like I said, some of you maybe haven't taken action on these new goals. You've thought about them, you've dreamt about them, you find happiness in dreaming about them, but you haven't made the step forward. So this is showcasing to me that it's time to make that step forward when you are ready, obviously, but when you are, it is going to bring you a lot of wonderful opportunities. So that's great to see. But with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and move on and let you guys go ahead and do what you want for the rest of the day, for the rest of this reading, because I'm just going to do a quick recap here. Lots of happiness, lots of passion towards a goal that you're heading towards, because the Page of Wands is also a lot of passion. There are going to be people on your path that are possibly a bit shady, that they have this fake quality to them. I thought I had that in my hand, this fake quality to them. But you're also going to have people who are possibly more like this Page of Pentacles, having the map but ready to help you and support you in whatever it is, flip that coin and make that move, because there is that take action, as well as many other charms showcasing that it's ready, that this opportunity is ready for you. You just have to cross the river and let those resources start flowing in. It may not happen all at once, like I said with some of those letters, where you're going to have to wait on time for that den to grow, many years of hard work and passionate work, but it is heading you towards this wonderful thing at the end of the rainbow, right? Like this beautiful, happy place for yourself. But it has a lot to do with just getting there. So with all of that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading here with me today. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the charms, or what the reading meant for you. Also, if you came up with any specific words or anything like that, I'm always curious to know. Also, please be sure to give this video a like, as it really does help this channel continue to grow and lets me know that you enjoyed this timeless reading. And lastly, if you are new to the channel and this is one of your very first videos here with me, a very big warm welcome. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and if you would like to, feel free to subscribe and join in with this community of tarot and charm loving people. But in the meantime, I wish you guys so much luck and happiness, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! Hello Group 2, if you've decided to choose this $1 coin as well as this very old 1918 penny, then this is the pile for you. I'm going to go ahead and set both of those down right here for you so you can see them during your reading. As today we are going to be using the charms, the watercolor affirmations. We're also going to be using the Celtic Lenormand deck, the Spellcasting Oracle, and the Everyday Witch Tarot. And we're also going to be doing some letter tile casting today. So we've got a lot to dive into with this timeless video today. So let's start looking into your career related messages here for you, Group 2. I was going to say 1. Moving on to group 2 here. So group 2, what do we need to know about what's going on for your career? Are you changing paths? Is your path still where it is? What do we need to know in insights, guidance, or any energy that may be flowing into your life right now? For your career, for your financial situation, all that kind of stuff. So group 2 here. Okay, so you have the 8 of Swords. Let's see what else comes up here for you, group 2. So group 2, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance for your career here. You also have the Hermit. So there's the Hermit. Had to get it in focus there, but there you go. Let's see what else is coming in. Your final tarot card message for group 2. Group 2. What do you have coming in for financial situations here? So you have here the Wheel of Fortune as well. So you have the Wheel of Fortune, the 8 of Swords, and the Hermit. What's so interesting too is you have 10, 8, and 9. So there's sort of like this skipping, this feeling of maybe turning the wheel and then going backward. So we'll be kind of diving more into that in a moment, but let's see what you have coming in with your Spellcasting Oracle message. All right, so group 2, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance for group 2 here. Okay, so you have career, right? Like we already know this, but you have career showing up here. So I might pull you another one if we need to, because this is very like, we already know this is the topic, but we'll see what maybe comes in from the imagery as well. So funny when the cards are so direct. So we'll also look here for messages on career for group 2. So you also have here the Broom, and with these cards they have different numbers associated with them, so these may resonate different for each of you, but you have the number 11 here, as well as the Jack of Clubs, or the Jack of Wands, Knight of Wands, whatever you'd like to call it, but there you are. And we'll go ahead and look into your final message with the watercolor affirmations, but stay tuned later on in the video for the charms and the letter casting. So group 2 here, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance coming in for group 2. Okay, so you have here, go your own way. All right, so that is your affirmation message, but we'll go ahead and start diving in. So there's a few things that I've noticed right away with every single one of these cards. There is a circle present, and I know, like, a circle, what does that mean? But you have a circle here, you have the Wheel of Fortune, which is all about cycles and circles. You have it here in the fire pit, and then here around you with these swords. So there's definitely a cycle that is constantly being present in your career, this cycle that keeps changing, and you keep missing opportunities or having something that just continues. You may be feeling very nagged by someone at this time. You may be feeling that you yourself are putting yourself in a position where you are not progressing in the way that you'd like to. And there's a lot of, wisdom and guidance to move yourself forward here. So I'm going to talk here with the Wheel of Fortune and also these birch rods or the broom. And the broom represents purging, moving towards something, sweeping a mess up, right? And then you have the wheel, which showcases something that continues to go on and on, this cycle. And the Wheel of Fortune also talks about a cycle. It talks about the ups and downs of life, that when we have an up, we have a down. When we have a down, we head back up, right? So there's this cycle that continues in your life, a cycle that maybe you're feeling nagged by friends, like I mentioned. Maybe you're feeling like your family's on your back right now. You're feeling like someone's just putting you in the spotlight, or you yourself are putting too much pressure on yourself, and it's constantly creating this cycle where you're not moving forward, where you're putting logic in your head of these maybe truths. This may be where it's more of like you're feeling this way, but it's not necessarily how how true it actually is, right? Like, because just because we're feeling something doesn't mean those feelings aren't real. Just because a feeling feels real doesn't necessarily mean that it is true. So I feel like there are certain thoughts and patterns that are repeating in your head right now. Or maybe you feel like you're not good enough, or you don't have enough, or that people aren't seeing you in the way that you would like them to, or they're wanting to just get in your business, because that's what I'm feeling with the Hermit card. But you're not feeling as content as you'd like to. Like, the Hermit is kind of where you're heading. Like, maybe you're going towards like a more solo job, something that is not working with a ton of people, or maybe you want to work in your home or something like that. But you have the Eight of Swords, which is all about feeling like your thoughts and your head is just repeating these messages to you that tell you that you can't move forward, or that you don't have something, or you don't have enough to move yourself forward. But the important thing to notice is you do have the broom, which is really funny too. You have the broom to clean it up. You have the broom to move these thoughts and transmute these thoughts, right? Because you can't just be like, okay, well, I'm good enough, so that's all I have to say, and then that'll mean that everything's fine, right? But because these are ingrained in your head, it's going to take a bit more time to start to change them, have that wheel turn in the other direction, turn back in your favor. And a lot of it is because these cycles have either other people have put these thoughts in your head, and now they're cycling and telling you you're not good enough, or you're not there enough. But the thing is, you are very capable. There is so much you can do. Everyone is, and you are definitely one of those people, right? And this cat is like, you can just push that right out of the way, right? Like, you can just get right on past these. I can unbind you, you can unbind you. You're not even tied that tight, right? Like, that blindfold's barely on your head. You can just pull it right off. But it's sort of one of those things where sometimes we aren't noticing where we're putting ourselves in a corner. And this is sort of your sign to showcase to you, if you weren't even aware of it, that you've been putting yourself in a corner. And it's time to move past that corner, because you're missing out on all these opportunities that are right around you, because you have this little bird chilling here, right? So there's this little bird at the very top of one of the swords there. And then what I see here too is that you have all these birds right beyond the circle, that same circle that I was talking about, flying away, feeling free. So where you were feeling stuck, you're going to find freedom in maybe a new career, a new path for yourself, because whatever you're in right now possibly isn't just, it's maybe a toxic environment. Maybe there are people who aren't, doing so well with you, or messing with your head, and it's time to go your own way. So I feel like you guys are ready to either be an entrepreneur, you're ready to do your own thing, a solo independent career, or what you're doing is very different from everyone else. So you may be maybe you're from like a line of a ton of doctors and you want to be an artist, or vice versa. Maybe you come from a bunch of artists and all of a sudden you want to be that very like sciencey person. Whatever it is, you may just feel like the black sheep, or you just feel like you're just sort of that like one person in the herd that just doesn't make sense, and you're kind of that person who has to look a little bit more inward to figure out why that is, and realize that it's okay, right? Like, you don't have to fit into everyone else's circle, because your own circle, your own thoughts can, yes, harm you, like this is showing, but they can also inspire you, right? Like, this hermit is taking time for themselves to heal, to gain wisdom, right? Because you have that what's it called, an owl right up at the top corner, and then you have this beautiful fire and passion that's starting to grow there when you sit by yourself and realize that when you go your own way, when you go on your own path, your own cycle, when you take your own thoughts that are harming you and transmuting them into something that's going to actually create passion, maybe even going through some sort of cathartic healing, could be really important for you. But I really think that you guys just need to accept that whatever way you feel like you need to stay in, whatever this blockage is that's kind of holding you in one cycle, one job, one space, one type of career, whether that's because other people are telling you, or yourself has created this sort of vicious cycle, that you can transmute that energy and have something grow in it, have something start to emerge and create this flame that's passion and excitement. And the great thing about the Hermit too is just because you are alone, maybe you feel like you're alone and you're the only person on the earth that could ever want to do this job. Maybe you feel that way, but the great thing about the Hermit is it's not about feeling alone. It's about feeling at peace with yourself, feeling like healing from yourself. So there is a lot of healing that needs to happen before you can move forward, healing from these thoughts, healing from that you can gain wisdom in and growth in, because the patterns and cycles that you've been doing within your career have not been fulfilling for you. And it's time to change that, to create change for yourself, because with the Hermit card, it's not someone else coming in and telling you or validating you. It's you giving validation to yourself, right? That you are enough, that you have the freedom, that you have resources, that you can create so much more for yourself. Like seriously, like I feel for you guys. You have so much potential to grow and create passion and wisdom that's going to move you forward. It's just allowing yourself to see it. So with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and move on to your letter charm so we can get some more information on what this wisdom is, maybe what new career paths may be coming up for some of you, all that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and start diving on in. So like I've mentioned before, these are letter tiles, so we're going to see if there's any names, places, other things that may come up, like dates with like November or some other kind of month, anything like that. We're going to see what comes up and all that jazz. So group two, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance for group 2 for their career. Group 2. Okay, so let's see what you have here. So immediately, because I was thinking of months, it made me think of April, like maybe that's when some of this cycle changes and things that you're starting to dive into, that may be when it comes in. But you have 2 A's, a T, an I, a Y, and a V, and then you have an F and an N. So I do see like finish, like you're finishing something, you're at the finish line, you're ready to make a change. And it's just seeing that change even exists, right? Like maybe you just feel like you're so in this bubble, this cycle, that you can't even see that there is a finish line, that there is a new direction, that there are other ways you can go, right? So you may just feel like you get one path and that's it, but you have other opportunities. Sometimes you have to work harder. Sometimes you have to, pave the path yourself, but it is available to you. I also see vey, which makes me think of like vacay, like you're ready to go on a vacation. But instead of like going on a vacation or traveling and trying to avoid the situation, I feel like instead it's more traveling inward, right? Traveling towards yourself to seek that inner knowledge and wisdom that you've been holding back in your subconscious mind, and only listening to the active thoughts, only listening to all that kind of stuff, and instead finding healing in that. I also see Nat, so maybe Natalie, and I also see Nav or Nave, or even Anne, or even Van. So, okay, I was trying to figure out where it was heading me. So Van here makes me think also like maybe what you're wanting to do is go on a solitude path, as in like maybe you're ready to travel the world and other people aren't seeing that is, or you don't see that is available to you, that you might be able to still travel the world at this moment. I know that can maybe feel daunting, especially as a homebody myself, but maybe that's your passion. Maybe that's where you want to go to the woods, go to, these beautiful, wonderful places. And that is maybe a solo mission, going in a van, going on a road trip, something like that. And then I also see Anna. So whatever is resonating for you, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But I am curious if you guys would let me know in the comments what else comes up for you, because I'm always insanely curious, especially for these, because there's so many different words that could come up if you utilize your own intuition. So this is a great opportunity for you to really look at these letters, maybe write them down and sort of explore them. But I'm going to go ahead and move on to your charms, group 2. So group 2, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance For group 2, for their career at this time, financial drive, inspiration. For group 2. Okay. So definitely have some sort of travel element that's showing up here, because you have so many different sort of travel related things, because we have a ship, we have a wagon, and then we also have here the little toy plane. We also had a lot of different letters that showed up here as well, so I'm going to read all of those sort of in a little clump here, because you had a lot of them. But first I'm going to finish sort of moving these different charms around so we can see what's coming up here. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in so you can see the charms in more detail. But let's go ahead and dive in. So the letters that you have here are B, W, made me think of BMW, more van sort of situations, C, D, and X. So you have those letters there, and then these here. I can't hold them all, but there you go. Feel free to write them down and see what else comes up for you. But those are all there on your reading here. But like I said, you had a lot of movement, right? So we have the anchor charm, which makes me think moving on a ship, heading across seas, feeling more anchored in what you want to do. You also have the more long distance or road trip kind of charm, because you have the wagon. So you're ready to take the very small amount of resources you have, pack them up and go, because pioneer life was no easy stuff. You had to work with what resources you had to work with the community that you had and make do with what you have. So maybe you want less, maybe you want to work in a tiny home, maybe you want to work at home, or maybe it's because you're wanting to go and explore the world, but that's because you're going to be using like a little van, especially since we also have not the big plane, but the little toy plane. And the toy plane also tells me not only like a smaller vehicle or something smaller that you're taking, but because it fell in the center, it makes me think that this is, it still feels like a small opportunity to you. It still feels like you're playing around in your head, this fantasy that you may one day be able to go after. And maybe this isn't vacation for you, but whatever career it is that you want, it may feel small and fickle and like unreachable, right? But it's definitely not, because it's showing up in so many different places for you and through more than one person, because you have the collaboration charm or teamwork charm that the bee shows. So the bee is about, having to work in a hive mind, having to work with all these different resources that you have available with a very large amount of community. So just because you are healing and going inward for your hermit sort of thing and you don't mind solitude, doesn't mean that you won't be working or networking with other people. And lastly, with the last two little clumps here, you have the ugly and delicate charm. So you may feel that these thoughts in your mind are making this goal that you want to go towards very delicate in your mind. You feel like the moment you start heading towards it, it snowballs backwards, right? So every time you try to leave this circle, that when you're trying to head away from it, it snowballs back at you. And you're learning resilience. You're learning what you can achieve. And if you let that snowball take you down, that's going to keep you down. And I think it's just that you guys are learning that resilience to bring yourself back up. Even though things are going to be tough and they seem like they have been so far, it doesn't mean that your goals and your dreams aren't achievable in the end, because there are people coming to light here, because you have the people here showing up and more collaboration. The last thing that I'll mention here is you have the moon next to thou shalt not kill, the focus charm, and the awareness charm. So you need to make people around you who are holding you back with that broom, you need to clean up the mess that they're trying to create, right? They're trying to create a mess in your mind, and it's whether or not you focus on them or you focus on what you want, right? Because they may not be even aware that this is something you want, that this is a new career path that you want. They may not even be aware of it, and they're killing your dreams because they don't know. They have this illusion that the moon has sort of put over them, right? It's not been enlightened. It hasn't come to light. And you may be feeling like you're being pushed into a corner, trying to feel like you don't have the ball in your court, but the ball has always been in your court, okay? It's always been in your court. So go your own way. And whether or not they're going to listen to that, whether or not they're going to feel passion in that, whether or not they're going to support you, there are other people out there on your same path who want to support you as well. And you're being made aware of that and ready to focus on you, right? On you. So with all of that said, group 2, I hope you enjoyed this reading here with me today. Be sure to go your own way. You're ready to make a new path for yourself outside of this circle that you've sort of found yourself paved within, because there is growth. You are ready to head higher up in your career, find freedom, find new opportunities, maybe ones that have to do with travel, that have to do with heading on a new path that your family or your friends haven't normally considered for you. And it may have a lot of hard work, but there are communities and people who are ready to help you, and there are some that are going to want to hold you back. And it's for you to decide who's going to help you and who isn't. But no matter what, the ball is always in your court, and it's always up to you where you're going to go. Maybe you have to make other people aware of it, an FYI, but at the end of the day, it is your decision and yours only. So with all of that said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to let me know in the comments how this resonated for you, if there were certain charms that really spoke to you, certain cards, or even if you came up with different letters for different words and other things that came up for you. I'd love to know in the comments. I'm always so curious. And also, please be sure to give this video a like if you did like it. It helps this video this channel rather, continue to grow. And let me know that you guys enjoyed this reading here with me today. And lastly, if you are new to the channel and this is one of your very first videos with me, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to join in on this tarot and charm loving community and see more of what I have to offer with these different readings, then feel free to subscribe and join on in. And with all of that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading, and I will see you in the next one. Best of luck. Bye. Hello, Group 3. If you've decided to choose this half penny from 1929, as well as this 2002 10-cent euro, then this is the pile for you. I'm going to set those both down right here for you so you can see them during your reading, as today we are going to be using the charms, the watercolor affirmations. We're also going to be using the Everyday Witch Tarot, the Spellcasting Oracle, and the Celtic Lenormand deck. And we're also going to dive even deeper with these letter tiles to see any names, places, or other energies that may come up in oracle messages. So we have a lot to dive into, and I just realized, in case any of you guys are watching from the other piles, I just realized that I wasn't wearing any of my jewelry for the last 2 piles. So anywho's, it's all back on and I'm feeling more witchy. So let's go ahead and get started on what career path is starting to come towards you, what new energies for financial abundance, or what career paths you may have at your advantage, opportunities that may be coming in, anything like that for Group 3 here in energy, insights, and guidance. So what do we need to know about Group 3 for their career path? Okay, we got 2 here already. Okay, let's see what you have coming in. So you have both the Chariot and the Knight of Wands. So there you have both the Chariot and the Knight of Wands. So there you go. Let's see what else is coming in for you, Group 3. Already quite living kind of dangerously. Interesting too. So there's a lot of passion there. So Group 3, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance, or the career path, financial structures, anything like that may be coming in for Group 3 here. Group 3. For their career. What's changing up? What's moving? Okay. We also have the Moon. So there you go. The Moon, the Knight of Wands, and the Chariot, and these 2 major arcana cards have 18 and 7 in case those numbers resonate for any of you. But we're going to go ahead and move on to your Spellcasting Oracle cards to get more information. So Group 3, what do you have coming in here, Group 3, for your career path? What's changing up? What's moving you forward? What's maybe holding you back? All that kind of stuff for Group 3 here. Ooh. lots of cards, but I'm feeling one specifically that just fell on my foot. So let's see what that is. All right, so like I said, you have a lot of passion, and it's because whatever you're heading towards is your life purpose. And there's also more moon energy, so a lot of like spirituality, more passive and expressional energy that comes from the moon, as well as some like mystical elements. So that's kind of interesting to see as well. Some of you guys might be more mystical, spiritual, or very creative and intuitive. So we've got life purpose coming in, but let's see what else you have coming in with your Celtic Lenormand message. So group 3. You also have here the meadow, which I believe is the garden in like traditional tarot, but this is, since it's Celtic Lenormand, they wouldn't have gardens, so instead it is the meadow. And with each of these Lenormand cards, they also showcase a specific or 2 specific numbers. So these may resonate different for each of you, but we have the number 20 as well as the 8 of swords or the 8 of spades. Hopefully you can see that there, but that is the meadow. So we're going to go ahead and do your final message here from the watercolor affirmations, and then stay tuned later on though, because we'll also be doing your letter tile cast and the charm casting to get even more details to dive on in. So group 3, what do you have coming in group 3 for your career path? What's changing? Okay, so you have here, you are manifesting. And then you also have family and friends, which I see a lot with the meadow card, wow, words, the meadow card. And then I also am seeing this with the moon, especially the full moon that keeps showing up. So let's dive on in group 3. You guys have such an interesting pile here, lots of passion, lots of drive. It's just where that's heading. So we're going to look into more of the specifics there. So it seems at this time you guys are, like I said, very intuitive, very creative. You have a lot of passion, a lot of creativity, especially since you have wands as well alongside all of this. You have support, you have all of that. But the one thing that is sort of changing up that I see here is with the Chariot card. So even though you have purpose, even though you have some sort of life purpose that you're heading towards, you may still be learning to connect with that. So some of you may already know what this is, but for some of you, you're still on the path to learning what that is. You're gaining knowledge on that, right? Because it says this way or that way here at the top. So you're not really sure which direction you're going to go, but once you do have that direction, you have the drive, you have the resources, you have the plans. You're just still seeking out knowledge on what that even is, where you're even going, right? Like, because sometimes it takes a long time. A lot of people will ask you that question of like, what are you going to do with the rest of your life? What is your life purpose? La da 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 da. But some of us don't know right away, right? Sometimes it takes time, and sometimes it's not even about knowing, but intuitively just knowing you're going to go right or you're going to go left. You're just going to go after this career or go after this path because you feel called to it. There's a calling there. Intuitively, there's this connection of guidance that you're having either from your guides, because like I said, you have sort of this mystical spiritual element. So I feel like some of you are feeling very guided at this time to head towards something. Or it's because you just know in your heart of hearts that this is for you. You may not know why, you may not know where it's coming from. Maybe it's something completely new for you or something that you've always felt called for, but it is a calling. It is something that you want, or that you're learning is a part of you. But for those of you who already maybe know which way you're going, maybe you've already decided, but you haven't taken the action on it because you have the Knight of Wands here. And the Knight of Wands is someone who is obviously very adventurous. They're going against a dragon in this card, so they're very adventurous. They're going to go after what they want, what they're called for. But you may have, difficulties in your path, like this dragon, and you're going to have to face them. And so whoever this dragon is in your path right now, could be friends and family, but it could be just that they are unexpected paths, unexpected things that you weren't expecting, right? Like you're on this path, you're heading up the hill, and then when you get to the top of the mountain, you're like, dang, there's a whole freaking dragon right there. And so some of you may not know, and it may be an unexpected thing, something that's in illusion right now, something that is, the moon can have that illusion, dreamy side of us, right? So you may be feeling like there is something ahead right now and you are being called towards this path, and that's wonderful and great, and definitely keep going towards it. But just because you know what you want, just because you are learning where you're going or feeling called towards it, doesn't mean there isn't going to be difficulty. You may have friends or family that disagree with what you're doing. You may have financial difficulties, like you're not really sure where to start or how you're going to get there. Or you may be just building up difficulties in your head, and that's creating these false paths for you, right? So for some of you, you may be feeling like this cat does, where you're kind of like upping up the stakes when you maybe don't need to, because maybe it's not a whole dragon, maybe it's just like a little mountain that you have to get over, but you're putting this huge amount of weight on it. So for some of you, it's just needing to ground back down and see it as a reality and see what is being reflected here in your life purpose, because there is this like reflection here. So you're kind of knowing that you have a life purpose, but you're also reflecting all these negative feelings on it, either because you don't have the support from friends and family, or because you are feeling like you just are still clouded on it and you don't know which way you're going to go. Or like I said, it's kind of feeling like, I feel like a lot of people chose this pile for some reason. Usually 3 isn't the pile that everyone chooses, but there's a lot of energy that's sort of colliding in different ways. So like I said, this could resonate differently. So take what resonates and leave what doesn't, as this is a collective reading. But like I said, there's just this reflection, this need to reflect on it and see what the light and dark is of this path. What is going to be in your way? You're going to have maybe financial troubles. You're going to have a hard time finding resources. Maybe you don't have a good plan, even though you know you want it. So it's just figuring those things out and starting to, especially if you guys work with law of attraction or with magic or anything like that, or your spiritual practice, to ask or work towards manifesting what it is that you want. So there's lots of different ways to manifest, and you can look into those, but you're heading towards a way, but how do you get past those hurdles is what you're really diving into at this time. And a lot of it has to do with using the drive that you have, keeping it on full throttle and keep going. That doesn't mean don't take a rest, but just when you hit those road bumps, don't let them just become like, settling. That's where you're going to be. You're going to just move past them, because once you put that illusion away, once you reflect and realize like, oh yeah, it really wasn't that bad, especially when you look back on it, that's when you're going to see that things have changed, that you've changed, that you're growing, and that you're going to have another mountain in the distance, but you're going to be more resilient. You're going to have more power behind what you're doing, because every step in that life purpose is growth. So that's really cool to see too. And the other thing that's starting to happen in your career path too is that you are making new friends, finding a new chosen family too, if you don't already have their support, because you have the meadow here, and the meadow talks about social gatherings, networking with new people, finding new people within your career path that are on similar paths that you can follow and find wisdom in. The other cool thing too is that gatherings are a great place to not only learn, but also share your own experience. Find other people and like-minded people that you can bond with, that you can create these beautiful bonds with, that are going to help you on your path and have you be stronger too, so you don't have to face them alone. Because in both of these cards too, which is what I love about this specific tarot deck, is you have a cat on the back floating along. Even though they may be like, oh my God, hold on for dear life, we're going through something right now, they're still sticking by you. They're still going to stay by your side. So you're finding those people that are going to be helpful in your career, and they are coming through for you. They are. The other cool thing too with the life purpose and the meadow or garden here is that there's a lot of abundance in this card too, right? So whatever you are heading towards is going to create not only like a social abundance sort of situation, but it's also going to create like this new feast of resources. So that could be resources like things that you need, like a computer or this or that, like for what you're doing. But it can also be that they are resources as in like you're getting more finances, more money that's coming in, more abundance in many different ways and different forms. So definitely look out for those, because they're kind of brewing right back here. The other thing too is your life purpose might have something to do with working with lots of different types of people, because social gatherings tend to have a lot of different variety of people, and this card tends to talk about communicating with a variety of people. So you may be working with energy work or things like that, or just within whatever path you are, it's not like a solitude thing. It is a very, like, you're very interested in working with other people or helping other people or managing other people. Whatever that is, there is a huge community in what you're doing. It's not a solo act. It is definitely community based, or that it is based in something that has, a lot of structure in the people that you work with, right? That there's that social structure there. But with all of that said, group 3, I'm going to go ahead and move on to your charms, because we were already revealing quite a lot here, and I want to see more information, especially on that spiritual element that's coming in too, and what this life path is for you. So let's go ahead and look at your letter tiles. This could represent names, places, dates, anything like that that may come up for you, as well as oracle messages. So group 3 here, group 3, we're looking for any information, energy, insights, or guidance, and details on the career path that is changing, shifting, and moving towards a life goal, life purpose for group 3. So group 3 here, group 3. Okay, they all fell upside down. Interesting. Lots of illusion, like that moon was showcasing. But we have I, C, O, A, E, another C, another E. Lots of, oh my goodness, so many vowels, right? So many vowels. I don't know why I saw Cecile in there, so maybe that's a name. I also see CEO, so maybe some of you guys are heading towards like a bigger life path, right? Like you're heading towards the big thing, like you're heading towards being the CEO of something. I also saw CIA, so that makes me think like maybe you guys are working more with like police or investigative stuff too, or maybe you're doing it in a more spiritual sense or something like that. And because you have 2 C's here, and then also the actual word, I was going to say number, the actual word C here, it makes me think that whatever your spiritual gifts or things like that have something to do with seeing, right? So something to do with your sense of seeing, something to do with that sort of more psychic side, which you can see more of on my psychic and magical gifts and abilities video. But that's definitely coming through too. So like I said, you might be mixing different types of careers together. You definitely have like this mixing networking element to the things that you're doing here. You also have sea as in this way, so you may work more towards the sea, or maybe the career or life path has something to do with the ocean or water, maybe working with certain animals or something like that, helping with sea life, or something that has to do with the sea overall, maybe weather even. And I also see ice, which makes me feel like what you're heading on right now, right, is feeling very frozen, like you haven't made that move yet for some of you. Like I said, some of you have already probably started heading towards the Knight of Wands, but some of you are still stuck at this just beginning stage. So that's starting to break up, right? That ice is turning to the sea, and it's churning and moving in you and moving you forward, both physically, like moving you towards what your goals are, but also like just breaking that up on a spiritual or mental sense. But with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and move on to your charms and see what else comes up. But I am curious, as always, to let me know in the comments if you guys have wrote these down and used your intuition to come up with other sorts of letters, words, numbers, or whatever comes up for you. I am curious, so let me know in the comments down below. But let's go ahead and move on to your charms, group 3. So group 3, we're looking for any information, energy of details for group 2, for their career path, for their financial goals, for where they're heading in this life purpose. So group 3 here. Okay, so let's see what came up for you. I'm going to pick up all of the ones that fell upside down here and then go from there. Okay, we do have a chakra message, so I'll be pulling you guys one of those here shortly. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in so you can see everything here. All right, so there you go, all zoomed in so you can see everything in their detail. And I'm going to go ahead and start here before we even start talking about any of the specific charms and see what this 2 and the solar plexus has anything to do with your messages. All right, so I went ahead and pulled out the charm or the card specific to the solar plexus here from the Chakra Love deck to see what's coming in here with your chakra of the solar plexus chakra, which is sort of your intuition center, your gut feelings, your internal fire and flame, and creative center as well as confidence. So let's see what's coming in here for your solar plexus chakra. Okay, so feeling this top one. So you have here abundance. The world is abundant when you choose to see it that way. And with these specific cards too, if you work with crystals or anything like that, the specific crystal that's coming up here for you is citrine. So you could work with citrine to bring in abundance. Other great ones for abundance though are green aventurine and emerald. So those are other ones that you could be utilizing. But you have it next to 2, so someone else is coming in to bring that abundance with you. So I really feel like you guys are going to be working with someone, you're having a very close coworker or someone that is a business partner that's coming in to really work and help you along your path and towards your goals, or you have some sort of mentor because you have the number 2 showing up here. Some of the other things that I'm seeing is more spiritual elements showing up here next to meditation. So some of you might be feeling like you have this Queen of Wands showing up, so you have drive and attention to detail, as well as a lot of great abundance that comes, or not abundance, a lot of great networking that comes from the Queen of Wands. And that may have to do with your spirituality, has to do with meditation, but at this time you feel like it's been kind of blocked because you do have sort of this ugly charm. This is what I call the ugly, you're like, ooh, I just don't like it charm. So maybe at this time you're trying to talk to other people, but you're not maybe being the best at communicating. So you're learning on your communication skills when it comes to talking to other people in your field, if it has to do with meditation or if it has to do with spirituality, especially if you're coming from more of a science-based career at the time. But if it is your life purpose and is something that you're interested in, definitely go towards it. But if it isn't, then that might be sort of like a steer away, because we do kind of have science coming up here a little bit. The other things that are coming up here in the center is more on that message of not making a decision to move forward, because you do have the clothespin charm, which represents pinning it up and coming back to it later towards something that you're very passionate about, that you're feeling very called to, but you're pinning it up, putting it up later, and that in turn is creating a smaller amount of abundance, because we have just a penny. That's 1 cent in America, and it's not a lot, right? So you're not gaining as much as you could be because you're kind of pinning yourself back at this time, which is showcased here as well, because you have the bear paw charm, which sometimes represents hibernation, but sometimes it's time to put action towards things, to move things forward. And you have the cheetah charm, so that's telling you that you need to speed things up, start moving forward, because some of you have not. Another speedy charm that's showing up here too is the hummingbird, and the hummingbird sings their beautiful song. They're very pointed, they head right towards their goal, they know what they want, and they feel called to it, right? And they're also fast. They're not going to wait it out. Those things zoom around so fast. So it is time to start heading towards this path and making sure to head towards it because it's something that you like, and that you're networking with the people that are actually going to cause and create this independence as well as abundance and communication very peacefully with someone. Because you also have here, after the full moon and heading towards the release moon or even the introspective moon, of the number 6, and 6 to me represents harmony, feeling very harmonious and also working with other people. And when doing so, you also have the good luck and signs charm. So look for signs if you have any signs that are coming in from whatever spiritual guidance that you are typically listening to, or are feeling called to listen to at this time, because they're trying to head towards a more lucky and harmonious state for you. All right, but with all of that said, group 3, I hope you enjoyed this reading on your career path, because you have a lot of drive, a lot of life purpose, a lot of opportunity that may be, awaiting for you right now. But it's just deciding to actually head toward it, because you do have where you're kind of pinning it up, kind of settling at this time, and it's time to move forward towards it, not just reflect on it. It's not as difficult as it may seem. There are going to be hurdles, but you have people in your corner, friends and family, or these new people that are starting to come in to bring this abundance with you, not just for you. So with all of that said, I hope you enjoyed this reading here with me today, group 3. Let me know in the comments what you thought, if any specific charms or cards spoke to you, or if these specific letters really spoke to you in any way. Like I said, feel free to use this as a great intuitive exercise by writing them all down, scrambling them up, anything like that, and see what comes up. I'd love to know in the comments down below what came up for you. And also, feel free to like this video as well. It really does help this channel continue to grow and flourish as well, and I really do appreciate it. So thank you to those of you who have liked the video already. And it also lets me know that you just enjoyed it. And lastly, if you are new to the channel and this is one of your very first videos here with me, I hope you enjoyed. I do these readings every single Monday on timeless readings, monthly blessings readings, other magical content, and I also do these timeless readings. So if you're interested in any of those or all of them, feel free to subscribe and join this beautiful community of tarot and charm loving people. I hope you guys enjoyed. It was great to read for you guys today. So much love and luck and abundance heading your way, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.